Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ro, and today, as you guys can see, I'm going to talk about my favourite movies in 2022 that I watched for the first time. So these are the films that did not come out in 2022, but these are my first time watches. I've seen a couple of people do these kind of videos, but usually people just do a countdown of their favourite movies that came out that year. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 14 films today, and I'm going to try and go through them quickly. So at number 14, I have the movie Alice, Sweet Alice. So I kind of went through a slasher watch party during the year. I watched a lot of slashers because you guys know this already. I love a slasher. So I'm trying to get through as many as I can from all the eras. And Alice, Sweet Alice was one that was highly recommended to me, so I watched it. So I really enjoyed this one. I don't think it's a favorite, and I don't think it's something that I'm going to be watching all the time, but it is one that I probably will rewatch one day. I think it was really well made. That twist was great. I loved it, and I do think this is one of the best slashers from that era, so I really did enjoy it. I don't know if I'm going to go into any of the details of all of these movies. If you want to know anything about these movies and my feelings and reviews, I will leave my letterbox linked down below, or on my main page you will see my letterboxd there. So if you guys are interested, check that out. So that's where all my reviews and all the synopsis of all these movies are going to be. At number 13, I have Brain Damage. This movie is wacky. It's weird. It's really silly, and I had a good time. I had a good laugh. It's not that serious. There's a lot of metaphors going on in this movie. I don't even know what to say about it without spoiling anything anyway, but if you guys go into this, just know that this is not going to be for everyone, and it's going to be very strange. It's a very, very strange movie. I feel like this movie, I would have probably rated it higher had it not been for the ending. The ending started to get a little bit repetitive for me. I didn't really like where this went, and I feel like I was kind of bored by the end of it, but I was having such a good time from for 70% of this movie, maybe 80. So I definitely think that you guys should check it out. At number 12, I have Night of the Demons. This one I wanted to watch because I knew that it was set in Halloween time, and I always want to look for new Halloween classics and favorites that I want to add to my October list, and this has definitely made it. This one is really cheesy. It's an 80s Halloween horror movie. I love 80s movies, especially 80s horror movies, and this one was so much fun to watch. At number 11, I have Snowed in Christmas. This one stars Bethany Joy Lenz. I love her. She is Haley in the show One Tree Hill, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. So I watched a bunch of Christmas movies with her in it, and a bunch of Christmas movies in general in December, because I just felt like it. I wanted to find some new favorites, and I did. This one was 5 stars, 4 stars. I can't remember how much I gave it, but I loved this movie. I absolutely love this movie. The premise is very out there and totally not plausible, but I don't care. I had a lot of fun with this. So if you're looking for some really fun, lighthearted rom-com during Christmas time, this one is perfect for you. At number 10, I have Night of the Creeps. I loved this. This was so good. It was so fun. It gave me the Faculty kind of feeling. It felt kind of like, what's the movie that the Faculty is based on? I've spoken about this before. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So it has that feel, but it's not serious. It's actually pretty funny. I think it's supposed to be a comedy horror, and I had so much fun with it. It's wacky, it's crazy, it's an 80s movie about some sort of I can't give too much away actually, so I'm not going to talk about it. Just go and watch it. It's so much fun. It's definitely one of my favorite 80s movies, 80s horror movies that I've watched, and it's definitely something that I want to rewatch soon because I just had a lot of fun watching it. I know I keep saying fun. I need to stop using that word in my videos. I know. At number 9, I have I, Tonya, starring Margot Robbie. I'm late to the party. I know this came out so long ago, and I've seen most of her films, so I really, really wanted to watch this, and I'm glad I did. I thought it was excellent. I think she did such a great job. It was an outstanding movie performance. I loved it. probably wouldn't rewatch it because it's just not something that I'm excited to watch again, but I did really like this, which is why it's on this list. At number 8, I have Christine. This is based on the book of the same name by Stephen King. I know, I'm late, I know. But look, when you think about the premise of a car that's evil, it kind of felt cheesy, kind of didn't sound like it was going to be up my alley, but I love Stephen King and I got really into a lot of Stephen King films and books last year. So I decided to watch Christine and I'm glad I did. It is super entertaining and it's not cheesy or stupid or goofy at all, which is what I was expecting. So I think I went in with really low expectations and came out like loving this movie. So much better than the other ones that I watched. I think I watched Cujo and Firestarter last year and I did not like any of them, but Christine surprisingly was the one that I liked the most. So I highly recommend watching it if you felt the same way that I did and thought it might be stupid. It's actually a really good movie. At number 7, I have Last Night in Soho, starring Anya Taylor-Joy. I love her. I will watch anything that she's in, so I was really excited to watch this. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was more beautifully created and made, and it was just very nice and aesthetically pleasing to watch. I didn't necessarily feel like the plot at the end surprised me or wowed me. I think I've seen way too many like thrillers with those kind of plot twists before, so it didn't really do much for me in that sense. But that did not take away from the entertainment that I got from this film. I did think it was going to be a one-off, but I do think that it's something that I will definitely rewatch, even though initially I didn't think I would. I think the performances in this are amazing. I feel like I might enjoy it more the second time round. At number 6, I have Ingrid Goes West. This stars Aubrey Plaza, I almost forgot, and Elizabeth Olsen. I love both of them. I didn't know Elizabeth Olsen was in this when I picked it up. I just watched it on a whim, but I loved this. I felt like this movie, so this is more of a drama kind of film about this girl who's like becomes obsessed with this other girl and wants to be like popular and be famous. But like I felt like this movie was like almost like scary. I know it's not scary, like it didn't scare me, but like I feel like if this movie was made as a horror, it would have been like perfection. But I still think this movie was awesome. I think I gave it like 4, 5 stars. I still think it was so good. The performances were amazing in this. I really enjoyed this and I highly recommend. But like I said, I wish that this was like a thriller or something. This would have been like even better as a thriller, but I really enjoyed this movie. So next I have A Simple Favor. This one I watched really late in the year and I had heard a lot of hype about this movie. So obviously this stars Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick, and I went in blind, so I'm not going to tell you guys what the story is about in case you haven't seen it, because I do think it's just better to just watch it. Just know it is a thriller. When I started watching it, didn't understand how it was a thriller because it felt more like a drama to me. But then as it started to unravel and there was those twists and all this stuff started coming in to the story, I was really invested, and it's definitely a thriller mystery kind of movie. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know why it took me so long to get into it. I don't know why I was delaying my viewing of this film, but I definitely think you should watch it if you haven't seen it. At number 4, I have The Mist. This is another Stephen King movie that I watched last year, and it is my second favorite Stephen King movie that I watched last year. So that goes to show that my favorite's coming up. But this one was so freaking good. I thought I had seen this. That's what's really weird. When I put it on, I thought like I had seen this movie, that maybe I hadn't finished it, but I had never seen this. And it took me so long to watch this. I don't know why. It was so good. I was enjoying myself throughout. And then that ending, like when the movie finished, I was mad. I didn't know if I liked this movie. I was really mad. I was like, I'm never going to watch this again. I hate it. This is awful. Who thought of doing that? But then at the same time, I was like, that is the best ending I have ever seen. The biggest plot twist. the biggest head scratcher, the biggest like mind-blowing ending. I was like in shock. I don't think I've ever been more in shock about an ending in a movie than in this, and more enraged. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. But man, whoever thought of that ending? It wasn't Stephen King. I did look it up and I thought, like, why would Stephen King come up with this ending? But he actually didn't. Apparently his book ends differently. So if you read the book and not watched the movie, just watch it because it's different, apparently. I'm still going to read the book eventually, but wow. Yeah, definitely one of those movies that stick with you forever. I don't think I'll ever get over it. At number 3, I have the film High Tension. This is a French film, I believe, and when you watch this, you're thinking that you're watching a slasher, right? But then it just does some things. It does some things and it goes some places, and I'm not going to give it away because I went into this blind as well, and this was such a good movie. I feel like I need better ways to explain myself, but like I don't like giving anything away because it was so good going in this not knowing anything. So I would highly suggest doing that. Don't read up on it, just watch it. Just watch it. I know some people have issues with the ending. I know that there's probably some issues in the movie because it doesn't make sense. It probably doesn't all add up, but you know what? I had a good time. I had a good time. And I watched it for the entertainment, and that's exactly what I got. So at number 2 is my favorite Stephen King movie that I watched for the first time last year, and that is Dolores Claiborne. This stars Kathy Bates, and this movie was fantastic. It was something else. All of the actors in this, perfection. I forget what her name is, the main actress, and she's so good. I don't know why I forgot her name, but listen. I also went in this blind. I'm telling you, like, that's probably my favorite way of watching movies, not really knowing much about them or having watched the trailer like a million years ago. So with this one, I had no idea. I just knew that Kathy Bates was in this, and I knew that Stephen King wrote this role for her in mind in the book, and then she ended up playing the character, which is amazing. So yeah, this was really, really good. I don't even know what else to say. I don't want to say too much. Family dysfunction, death, some crazy stuff going on, but also like it's very slow paced and it's more of a drama mystery. So if that's something that you are into, but also you like Stephen King's other work, like The Green Mile and The Shawshank Redemption, it's kind of like in that sort of genre, I'm going to say, rather than like the horror. So if that's something that you're interested in, I highly, highly suggest that you watch Dolores Claiborne because it was so good, and I gave it 5 stars. And my number 1 movie that I watched first time in 2022 was Spider-Man No Way Home. So this was a movie that I watched in January of the year because I couldn't make it to the cinema in December, so I couldn't add it to the year before. So I ended up watching it in 2022 and I absolutely loved it. I feel like you guys know exactly what this is about, know exactly what happens, and probably know all the spoilers by now. But I don't want to say anything because just in case, you never know, there might be that one person who hasn't seen it yet. But man, the nostalgia that I felt in this movie, I think that that's what it was. I was so nostalgic throughout those scenes. I just felt like this deep connection. I sound like I'm talking about like some big epic movie, but listen, this movie was so much fun. It was so good. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There was nothing that I would have changed in this. Everything about it was great. And I can't say much without spoiling it. I know, I'm sorry. But if you haven't seen it, like, go watch it. What are you doing? It's been out for like more than a year. Maybe I could spoil it. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I know this one went a little bit quickly, but I didn't want to bore you with too much information. Next time I will make sure that I share what each of these films are about in my other videos, but for now this is just my wrap up from last year, so I'm not going to go into detail. So I hope you guys understand that. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.